Stand by. The program will begin soon.
There's an example yesterday I saw of this woman who's been here. I mean, we might even play this clip. She's been here 20 years. She has 3 kids who were born here. Her kids are because of birthright citizenship, which is another subject that's coming up. And she never bothered to even try to resolve her immigration status. Not in 20 years. She has never tried to resolve her immigration status. Not through Republican presidents, not through Democratic presidents, nothing. And so now, she's worried about being deported because they put out the sob story of this woman. Well, that's not the average person they're even looking at right now. The average person they're looking at, crossed in the last 3 years, are CNN is cutting jobs to embrace the digital future. No, they're cutting jobs because, as I like to say, they suck. CNN is undergoing a significant restructuring, planning to lay off about 200 employees, which constitutes approximately 6% of its workforce. This move is part of a broader strategy under CEO Mark Thompson to pivot towards a digital-first approach, focusing on expanding digital subscriptions and reducing costs from traditional TV operations. Wait a minute. Didn't they already try the CNN subscription service, which failed miserably? Which, if you truly have compassion for trans kids, you would allow them to all go through puberty, because 90% of kids who think they're trans change their mind once they go through puberty. That puberty is the fix for most of the problems. But you guys want the medicalization of kids and sterilization of kids and medical and surgical altering of kids who can't make that decision at 12 years old or 13 years old. Diablo asks, why is it when I try to show empathy and concern, people always misconstrue it? Last time I asked someone if their mom at least got a good check from the clinic that botched the abortion. Oh! Oh, God. Damn it, AD. I think you just need to find a gentle.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
I would be willing to bet everything I own that submitting a 22-minute video montage that shows the most egregious acts of violence you can find from that day, when the defendant in question is on that video for only 6 seconds and the scene walking calmly, is highly prejudicial and a violation of the defendant's due process rights. The person was found guilty and sentenced to 19 months in prison. Now, it took 2 hours to read through all of the documents that were in the case file. Every motion submitted by the defendant was denied. Every motion by the defendant was denied. How often does that happen? And every motion submitted by the government was granted. They turned a trespass misdemeanor that would have resulted in a $50 ticket into 5 misdemeanors and a felony charge by charging the defendant with a statute that would have required the Secret Service to rope off the section he was in, which they did not. They also charged him with a statute that would have been required them to prove Mike Pence was in the building at the time he walked through that corridor. He was not. And they used an Enron statute that the Supreme Court struck down. If you accept a pardon, you are admitting guilt. Period. That's the, because you can't be pardoned if you're not guilty.
Whether he can preemptive part, whether he can issue president's reportedly asking his staff whether he can issue preemptive pardons for himself, his family members, Rudy Giuliani. There's a simple answer: no. No, Mr.
Oh,
that
you
would be a
can't?
gross abuse
Oh,
of the presidential
it's a
pardon authority.
gross abuse of presidential pardon authority. Well, there you go. You accepted a pardon, Adam Kinzinger. You think you may have committed a crime. Oh, here, Jamie Raskin. Dirty Q-tip. Dirty Q-tip, Jamie Raskin. What else? What did he have to say?
Well, the seeking of pardons is
Yes, it's only on
powerful
one side.
demonstration of the consciousness of guilt. Or at least the consciousness that you may be in trouble.
Jamie
And that's
Raskin.
what's so shocking
Did he
about
get a
this.
pardon also? Wasn't he on that
The
committee?
seeking of pardons is...
He was on that committee. I'm curious if you're going to condemn that part. Are you going to condemn that pardon?
You know, Joe Biden pardoned a lot of people. Yeah, he should answer for that and explain.
Lots of murderers, lots of drug dealers, lots of people who killed people, commuted the sentence of a couple murderers. One drug dealer who people died from taking the drugs that they sold them.
Stand by. The program will begin soon.
The Obama Aniston rumors have gone wild. Rumors have emerged on social media that suggest Barack and Michelle Obama might be heading towards divorce, with speculators linking Barack Obama to actress Jennifer Aniston. Those rumors have gained traction following Michelle Obama's absence from Jimmy Carter's funeral and the inauguration, and are based on tabloid stories and social media speculation without solid confirmation from the individuals involved. So far, they're still rumors, and I don't know why people are perpetuating them, but it is kind of fun to perpetuate rumors like that. No one's come out to, out and out deny anything. That's the weird part.
We should just take a deep breath and acknowledge the audacity.
The audacity!
Of a president who's so clearly concerned about his own criminal culpability.
Oh my God, his own criminal culpability and his son's business dealings. I know that they're talking about Joe Biden, aren't they?
And that of his family members.
Like the boy asked, are cats really soul suckers? Yes. Yes. That's why I'm not into cats. Dogs, man. I'm a dog guy. Avocado Diablo, is there an aisle in the grocery store that is less objectionable to have sex in? Where do you come up with this shit? Dude.
Has done something no person in the world has ever done before. A dead man, a dead politician has risen.
Yes.
Somebody who if we were 4 years ago at Davos, he's buried, a dead.
And I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding Donald Trump's demise that has failed. I wonder how many people at Davos, again, let me say it again. I wonder how many people at Davos have been funding what they had hoped would be Trump's demise. I bet you there's a few of them there. And it didn't work, did it now? Didn't work now, did it?
Politically known to me. He's now returned. This is the greatest comeback in political history of a politician. And then, therefore, he thinks he can do anything.
End of the show, every day on my show, if I put something on the screen or I'm talking about it, or it's a topic or an article that I'm presenting in this show, I provide links to every single thing that I've talked about, and even more, the ones I didn't even get to. I drop them in the chat at the end of the show, and also I drop them in the description. So if you want to find these articles, they will be in the links at the end of the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only Dawg Knight.
All right. Let's go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as Dawg Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the Dawg Knight Channel, where I have a very faithful and loving audience that comes in every day, and it just makes me so happy to see y'all getting into chat bright and early. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday, the 18th of what's the month is it? It's February? Yeah, February 2025. And today we're going to harken back on something that good old Avocado Diablo gave us yesterday. And I kind of didn't, this is about a week old, but I still want to get into it because it's, as I, what would I say? As I looked into this more diligently, or not. No, not herpes. What are you talking about, Somnambule Nation? No, I saw this last week, and I wanted to see what exactly they were trying to accomplish. And I think what I've discovered, they've accomplished nothing. Now, this is foreshadowing because I'm not telling you what I'm talking about yet. Although the thumbnail might give you a clue. Yes. Okay, I will tell you. The Worcester City Council. And holy moly, I'm looking at what they actually accomplished, and I'm thinking, and what does that mean? I'll explain it later. Anyway, let's get into the show because I'm late, and I've got tons of tabs open. I'm not going to get to hardly any of them because there's only a few things I really want to talk about. So there's a lot of good news articles in the links, and then I also put the aggregator out somewhere in there. Where's the aggregator? Oh, there it is. I'll put that at the end. And so, yeah, let's get going. First in the chat, of course, today is Mr. Avocado Diablo, who gets the bell again. He gets it again. Just Johnny on the spot. D, you're just the man. Also, by the way, 80s also dropped not a Hamilton, a small bullet, a 223 into the tip jar via Streamlabs. If you want to sponsor the show, you can do that to Streamlabs. Who says she got even nuttier the second time around in front of that city council, didn't she? And look at her hand holding the poster board. Do you see what I see? Very subtle. Okay. Oh, I see the finger. Okay, yeah, we'll get into that. Thank you for sponsoring the show. You are the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. So far, the top donor of the day is the Streamlabs Superstar donor of the day. But you don't have to be the top donor. Just drop a couple bucks in the tip jar. Lady Boomer and I got an anniversary coming up, and I'm using tip jar funds to fund our anniversary dinner. So there you go. All right, let's also, good morning, Mike Savage, Blarg, Somnambule Nation, of course, good morning. And also, thank you for tweeting out the show. I think, well, wait, yeah, okay, there you go. It's there. You did it, of course, because, I know how that works. Also, good morning, too. Simon Wilkins, welcome back. I said Mike Savage. Ms. Wild Wolf, hello. Okay, this is weird. Tyre. Alexander the Scourge is here. Good morning, fam. What's up? TC's in the house. Renee Mayette. Hello. Keishal. What up, Kirsten? And is this it? Oh, Cindy Bishop. What's up? Hi, Cindy. It's been a while. Are you in the home base in Florida right now? Or are you guys out in the RV? I'm curious. Also, good morning, Darren Root. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. It doesn't seem like there's a whole lot of people here. What's going on? Where is everybody? Oh, well, 19. That's not bad. That's average about this time of the show. So if you haven't shared the stream, it's probably over there, up there somewhere, or down here if you're on a phone. Hit that pinned tweet or whatever, pinned chat. Click the link and drop a let's go. Just add a GIF, a meme. Actually, from now on, I'm going to ask you to put memes there. The GIFs are fine, but if you have a meme, If you don't have one, put a GIF. But if you have a meme, drop a meme in the Let's Goes from now on. I just think that's funny, and I like to see what you come up with. So there you go. All right, so shall we get in the news? Of course, we're going to do some trending topics like we always do. Couple things going on. Oh, shoot. Now, see, I failed to do a day. Hang on. Holiday calendar. What is today? Let's see. I'm going to put the whole calendar out here today, in fact, in the links. Today is, here's some choices. Let me put this up here so you can see it. Today is Pluto Day. Take some time out of your day to celebrate Pluto Day, to explore the mysteries of the solar system and discover something new. Okay, I like the food and beverage one though. National Drink Wine Day. Oh, I can get into that day. Raise a glass and let's cheer to the National Drink Wine Day. Pick up your favorite bottle of the day and enjoy the sweet taste of celebration. If you're a wine person, please join in. Also, it's World Whale Day, cow milked while flying an airplane day. What? What does that mean? Cow milked while flying in an airplane day. Get ready to milk the skies on cow milked while flying an airplane day, a bizarre holiday that's utterly unforgettable. Thumb Appreciation Day. Nice to have opposing thumbs as human beings, right? And National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day. That's very specific. National Crab Stuffed Flounder Day. Okay. Enough of the holiday of the day. Also, trending on X, the app formerly known as Twitter, Grok 3 is trending. If you're familiar with Grok, Grok is the built-in AI on X, the app formerly known as Twitter. And it's pretty useful. I've been using it lately for a few things, and it's very useful. Grok 2 is the current iteration of Grok on X, and apparently Grok 3 is about to hit the Ethernet. Not Ethernet, whatever. It's about to hit the cloud, okay? So if you're into Grok, I like using Grok. It's pretty good, especially if you're looking to make images. Like if you saw my video the other day with David Hogg with the pig nose, that was Grok who did that. It was pretty good. Well done. I thought so. If you put in the right prompts. So if you're into AI, celebrate Grok 3 coming soon to a X platform near you. Also trending Social Security. Now, apparently, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, has been looking at Social Security, and we've talked about this briefly, and so apparently a lot of people are talking about it. Some people are saying, oh, Elon Musk is going to take away old people's Social Security. No, that's not it. But here is they put this chart from the Social Security Administration database, and it says these are the numbers of people in each age bracket with the death field set to false. Maybe Twilight is real and there are a lot of vampires collecting Social Security. So they put out, Elon Musk posted this list, and this is apparently people who possibly, I don't know if they're receiving Social Security, but it says their death is false. And as you can see, as it gets up into these numbers, it's fascinating. Like people, 99, 6 million of them. Are there 6 million people that are over 90 years old? I mean, it's possible, I'm sure. 100 to 109, 4.7 million, 110 to 119. Now that's getting up there. Usually there's only a handful of people, but this says there's 3,600,000 some. 120, wait, we have people 120 to 129 years old, over 3 million. 130, over almost 4 million, 140, 3.5 million, 150, 1.3 million, 160, 121,000, 170, 6,080. Okay, this can't be correct. There's got to be something wrong with this. Anybody? By the way, good morning. Who just showed up? Oh, on the honorable mention list of my favorite Canadians, Mr. Special K and Acid. What's up? So, I'm curious if they've just got a glitch in the list or what's going on here. But if that's true, are they paying benefits to these people? Because I want to know who's collecting those checks And I just really, it's really weird.
I see dead people.
So, oh, speaking of which, look at that right there. There it is. I scrolled down a little bit, and there it is. So anyway, good morning, Stefania. What's up? So I wonder what the hell's going on. So Gay Patriot says Elon Musk finds hundreds of billions of dollars of fraud in Social Security, but somehow he's the bad guy. It makes sense. Yeah, people are really mad at Elon Musk. They want to say, oh, he's in the Social Security system. He's going to cut off benefits for people. In fact, they're scaring the shit out of people, especially the Democrats who are out there saying, oh, he's getting your personal data. He's going to check your bank accounts. He's going to do this. He's going to do that. Look, and I feel bad because I am related to someone who is very, very scared because this person watches MSNBC all day long. They're retired. They're on Social Security. They're watching MSNBC all day long. And they think that Elon Musk is out to get them. Because MSNBC tells them, yeah, he's going to try to take your Social Security. He's going to take your food and benefits, whatever, blah, 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 blah. I just want them to take it. If this is true from the Social Security Administration, I want them to take it away from the dead people.
I see dead people.
Okay? If that's that, because I don't think there's anyone in this country that is 360 years old. It says there's one person here between 360 and 369 years old. How the effing hell is someone 360 years old? Unless he's right. We're in Twilight, and there's some vampires out there. I'm just curious. So now other people talking about Social Security. Oh, breaking. Michelle King, acting head of the Social Security Administration, resigns after dispute with Doge staff. According to the New York Post, yesterday Elon Musk revealed there were nearly 20 million dead people on the Social Security database. Well, all I can say to, what's her name? Michelle King, the acting head of Social Security Administration, I got one thing to say to you. Na 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 na. Hey hey hey. Goodbye. Get the fuck out. All right. Good morning, Random American. How you doing? And thank you, Avocados Diablo, dropping another small bullet in the tip jar. Who says someone who's born 199 years ago would have been 110 when Social Security even started, meaning they would have been dead before it even started. Why would they even be included in any list of recipients? Well, that's a great question. I think they might have a computer glitch or something. I'm just saying. I'm just wondering. Could it be a computer glitch? Could it be that COBOL? We talked about COBOL the other day because for some reason the Social Security Administration is using COBOL, which is fine if it works, great, but might not be working so well. Who knows? Tyre says, Dawg Knight, you marched with Hannibal over the Alps to sack Rome, so I can believe it. Well, I'm going to refrain. Bitch. Yeah, it's funny to make old jokes about me. Oh, didn't you have your 5 trillion birth year last year? Yeah, something like that. So anyway, I was looking for, as I scrolled through this, I was looking for some negative people, though. I was wanting to find some negative people. Oh, wait, holy moly. Stephen Miller just confirmed that foreign fraud rings have been using fake Social Security numbers and identities to steal billions of taxpayer benefits through the IRS. Miller confirmed Doge is about to get the records over 10 year. Oh, here, let's watch this little clip here from the what can I call Fox News? I got to think it's something to call Fox News, because they're. Well, whatever. Here, let's hear what he said.
What are the plans to do so if those records are obtained?
Well, as we know, there's a massive amount of fraud in this country. You have, for example, foreign fraud rings. These are foreign nationals who come into the United States. They use fake Social Security numbers. They use fake identities to steal billions in taxpayer benefits. There's no way to know until Doge gains full access exactly how much money we're talking about. But over a 10-year normal budget window, you could be talking about saving over $1 trillion by clamping down on massive fraud in our tax and entitlement systems, including, again, those carried out by organized fraud and theft rings. A very important point.
Now, does that surprise you at all? it doesn't surprise me. I'm sure that there are entities out there that, and organized entities, by the way, who probably have found a way to mine some of the names or whatever of people who have died and maybe cut off the notification of the Social Security Administration and been able to just get benefits through there. So I'm not surprised at all. If they can find them, great. Let's stop that too.
Point in all this is to understand that DOJ are subordinate staffers of the federal government. They are political appointees, just like me, just like everyone else in the White House, that serve and answer to the president. So we're not talking about an outside private entity. We're talking about the existing federal staff of the federal government performing their statutory and constitutional duty.
Okay, and that's because a lot of people said, oh, DOJ, they got some outsiders doing this and that and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, no. They are part of the U.S. government. There's the government agency that was created by Obama that they just have a different nickname, but it is an actual department in the United States government that Trump has fulfilled. So there you go. I want to find a negative Nelly though, because here we go. And here we go. And here's the number of recipients of Social Security in each age bucket with the death field set to false and recipient set to true. A mere 89,106 are aged 99 plus, not the tens of millions suggested by Elon Musk. So this is someone who put a different chart. But again, so 99 and over, it says 89,000 people, average amount. What's it mean? I don't even know what that means for the dollar amounts here. So I guess I'm just curious if they got that number wrong. That's why I was skeptical of the numbers before. I'm like, is that a glitch? Is it something they did wrong? But are there 90,000 people over the age of 99? Not the tens of millions suggested by Elon Musk. Okay. Social Security is going broke. Money has been stolen in plain sight every single month. No oversight. Elon Musk says it could be the largest financial scandal in American history. $100 billion annually funneled to individuals without traceable Social Security numbers or identification numbers. That's the other part. They do have a lot of people who they're sending it to, who do not have Social Security numbers, not traceable identities or Social Security numbers. So I wonder how many of the foreign people, if I don't even know if they're foreign organized rings. I'm sure there's some people out there getting Social Security checks that aren't who they say they are. And so that's hard to audit. How do they figure that out? So, but the people who are poo-pooing the fact that they're auditing this, I don't care. And I want them to do it through the entire government. I want them to do it the Defense Department. I want to do it at Health and Human Services. I want to do it at the Transportation Department. I want them to do everywhere. Find out where we're getting fraud, waste, and just other bullshit. So good on them. Moving on. Other things that are trending. Jim Acosta is in the news again. Jim Acosta is calling for a media boycott of the Trump administration. I'm just thinking to myself, and you know what? People know what's going on. Jim Acosta, former CNN host, has publicly called for media outlets to band together in a boycott against the Trump administration. This response comes after the White House implemented restrictions barring the Associated Press from key areas like the Oval Office and Air Force One amid disputes over geographic naming conventions and perceived media bias. The development underscores blah, 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 the tension between the administration and media. Look, any media outlet that wants to boycott Donald Trump, knock yourself out. You have, especially the Jim Acostas of the world, who are just all about bias reporting and anti-Trumpism. I don't care. Now, by the way, there on the top post on this. So we got the full Kamala Harris interview. I might have to try and get through that one of these days. The full Kamala Harris 60 Minutes interview, the unredacted, unedited version, right? And I'm understanding it's even worse than you would think. I mean, talk about the word salad that they edited out. All her answers are word salad, and she doesn't know anything. Now, apparently, there's also a version of the Trump 60-minute interview in full, and he had a lot to say that they cut out. And it's interesting what they edited. I'll put this, and in fact, I'm going to put this link as a separate link, only because it's very interesting watching this. I'm not going to do it now. I might do it another time. I might do it on X because 60 Minutes is very, very particular on who use their stuff, and they're just a pain in the ass on YouTube. Although I've never lost a dispute with them. They've always, after weeks of doing whatever you have to do to appeal their little strike system or whatever, I've never lost one, but it's a pain in the ass, and they do it every time. So, but this interview, this clip is really interesting of what they edited out of the 60-minute interview just before the election in 2020. Him talking about Biden being corrupt, talking about specific things where he got money from foreign entities, or at least his son did, and then there was the 10% for the big guy that they cut out of the interview because they didn't want people to know about it. And it's obvious that's what they did. So I highly recommend you watch that video too. But back to, let's see, did Social Security already? Where am I at here? Oh, what happened? Okay. Oh, I see. So anyway, back to Jim Acosta calling for a boycott. New former CNN host Jim Acosta is calling for a meeting to come together and boycott the Trump administration. The call comes in response to the White House's decision to ban the Associated Press. And his statement is, news outlets must rally to the cause by offering supportive statements to the court hearing the case. Oh, I think he's talking about the case. See, CBS is still being sued, and they seem to be losing their defamation suit against Trump. Hearing the case, writing op-eds backing the AP, and if necessary, refusing to cover presidential movements in solidarity until Trump backs down, Acosta said on Substack. The president's Sharpie is not minor than the pen. Well, Jim, you're an idiot. Legacy media, as Brick Suit here says, he's this guy who wears a suit that looks like bricks. Legacy media will die even faster if they boycott the administration. Yeah, what are they going to report on? They make more money reporting on Trump than anything else. So that's stupid. Moving on. Also trending. Oh, apparently CIA drone surveillance is happening over Mexico to target the drug cartels. Yes! I hit the wrong button. Apparently the CIA has been conducting covert drone surveillance over Mexico, targeting drug cartels utilizing MQ-9 Reaper drones as part of a strategic shift under the Trump administration to treat these groups as terrorist organizations. This operation, which has not involved armed drones, remains a secretive effort aimed at gathering intelligence. Well, I guess it's not so secretive anymore. So anyway, yeah, CIA flying covert drone missions into Mexico to spy on drug cartels. I'm sure that this is in cooperation with the Mexican government. They've talked about this. They mentioned something about having more cooperation. So yeah, good. That's via CNN, who probably wasn't supposed to tell everybody that they're doing it. This is CNN. CNN, when CNN isn't fundraising for alleged murderers, they're tipping off the Mexican cartels about CIA surveillance. That's exactly what I was thinking. Well, no, CNN reported it. Yeah, Katie Bo Lillis knew the CIA has been okay. So, how about that? Thank you, CNN, for letting the cartels know that we're here. It is. Here's the article from CNN. I mean, what? No, I don't want a subscription. Oh, reading with a CNN subscription. This is for subscribers only. Oh, well, you can kiss my whole ass. Good God. We'll just do an archived one. No, I'm not a robot. Oh my God. Motorcycles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, there. Can we get that? Motherfuckers. Oh, here we go. Here's an archived version. Oh, this is weird. The top covered. Okay, here we go. This is CNN. CIA under President Donald Trump has been covertly flying MQ-9 Reaper drones to spy on Mexican drug cartels. The missions, which have not been previously reported, come as the Trump administration moves to treat transnational drug cartels as terrorist organizations, a designation it has yet to officially make. The MQ-9 drones used for missions are not normally armed or currently armed, but that's the same thing I said before. So someone basically cut and pasted the first part of the article. Yeah, thanks, CNN. Thanks. So it was covertly, but not anymore. Oh my God. It's amazing. Hello, Trippy Liberty. What's up, my brother? How you doing? And play drunker Zach. Zach Osborne, my friend. How you doing? 60 Minutes has been copyrighting everyone since last year. Yeah, I know that. I knew that. So anyway, there you go. Moving on. Also, as we've talked about before, Tina Smith, the senator from Minnesota, has decided that she is no longer going to be a senator. Apparently, she might have some, let's just say some financial, how would I describe it? Financial ethics problems that apparently people are figuring out. And I hadn't heard about it, but I started reading into it and I'm like, oh, she may have been doing some self-dealing somehow. Anyway, she's not going to run for Congress again in 2026. So apparently there's some people talking about people who might run for Senate in Minnesota. Minnesota open Senate seat. Angie Craig's consideration structure debate. Now, Angie Craig just happens to be my personal congressperson. Representative Angie Craig from Minnesota is contemplating a run for the U.S. Senate seat that will become available in 2026 after Senator Tina Smith announced that she will not seek re-election. Known for her strong performance in her suburban Minneapolis district, well, it's actually a suburban St. Paul district, so whoever wrote this, Craig has received endorsements from various political figures who highlight her moderate stance and broad appeal. Discussions around her potential candidacy emphasize her track record of outperforming other Democrats, suggesting she could be a strong contender. Okay, whatever. She is, she votes with Democrats on everything, so I wouldn't call her a moderate, but she's a decent person. Now, let's see. Let's look at Alpha News here. Alpha News says, just in, Democratic Representative Angie Craig says she's giving serious consideration to running for Minnesota U.S. Senate seat in 2026. And that's according because Tina Smith is not going to be running. Now, Dean Phillips. Dean Phillips, if you're familiar with Dean Phillips, he used to be a congressman from Minnesota. And he actually was going to run for president against Joe Biden in 2024. But they decided not to have primaries in the Democratic Party. He said, our state and country would be very fortunate to have Angie Craig representing the United States Senate. Her principles, pragmatism, and both private sector and political experience are a combination of attributes which we need more of in Washington. No, we don't. We don't need any more Democrats in Washington. But if it gives us a chance in my congressional district to vote for somebody else, okay, go ahead and run, Angie. That's fine with me. Then you won't be our congressman anymore. But the other person we talked about that may run again, Royce White, former NBA player, and a lot of people are also considering Royce White. He's a fan of Robert Kennedy Jr. The Minnesota Republican Party and its delegates have chosen former NBA player Royce White to be the U.S. Senate nominee against Amy Klobuchar. Now, he did lose to Amy Klobuchar, but the race was, even though he didn't win, it wasn't a close race, but it was closer than anyone expected. He might be a good choice. Other people that I could think of, I don't know. I can't think of any others. So anyway, Minnesota's going to have a new senator. All right, moving on. Yesterday afternoon, if you're here, we talked about this Delta Airlines crash in Toronto. And so now there's some people from that crash who are describing their experience. Here's one of these survivors of the crash who went on, this is CNN. Let's see. Let's watch this one. Oh, there's no sound. Where's the... Oh, there it is. Hang on.
Out of their seat.
There we go. Let's try it again.
And did everyone stay in their seatbelts that you could tell? Was everyone hanging upside down? Had anyone slipped out of their seatbelts?
Yeah, I mean, it was mass chaos. I was upside down. The lady next to me was upside down. We kind of let ourselves go and fell to hit the ceiling, which is surreal feeling. And then everybody was just like, get out, get out, get out. We could smell like jet fuel. Even now I smell like jet fuel. And then we just crawled out the back of the airplane.
So, here, let's stop that real quick. Nope, stop. Okay. So anyway, Delta Airlines flight passengers recalled the chaotic final moments leading up to the aircraft crash landing and flipping upside down. So it landed right side up. It just flipped upside down during the crash landing on the runway at Toronto Pearson International Airport on Monday. Nelson is just one of the 80 people who miraculously survived the disaster aboard a Delta flight 4819 that left 18 people injured. Speaking to CNN, Nelson said the runways at the Canada airport were in a weird condition. Oh, so this had to do with the runways in Toronto and nothing that President Trump did. Oh, weird. How about that? It was a typical flight from Minneapolis to Toronto, he told the outlet, as we were coming in, and I did notice the winds were super gusty. The snow had kind of blown over the runways. So coming in, it was routine, but it was noticeable that the runways were kind of in a weird condition. And when we hit, it was super hard. We hit the ground and the plane went sideways. And I believe we skidded on our side and flipped over on our back. Nelson added that the moment the plane stopped, he noticed there was a big fireball on the left side of the plane before the aircraft went belly up and its passengers were upside down. Thankfully, everybody was okay. It was a mass chaos. It was an emotional roller coaster that you go through, but it's things you hope you don't see again. Yeah, that's amazing. Hello, Mindy. Ms. Weinstein is here. Hello, my dear. Another dear friend from high school. We tried to get off as quickly as possible. Shortly thereafter, there was another explosion, but luckily the firefighters got out there. Got out of there. The flight operated by the airline subsidiary Endeavor Air took off from Minneapolis about 11:47 a.m. and crashed about 2:15 p.m. So it was on the landing. It had nothing to do with the flight control, but it may have had something to do with the runway conditions. All 80 people, 76 passengers and 4 crew members made it out of the plane before it burst into flames. A total of 18 people were left hurt, 3 believed to be in critical condition, including a child. It was not immediately clear what caused the plane to go belly up on the snowy tarmac in Canada's largest city. Well, if they bounced, they may have miscalculated their altitude. But who knows? The Bombardier CRJ-700LR had one wing severely crumpled, and the tail section was partially sheared off. Terrifying video of the wreckage posted by Storyful shows a pair of firefighters jumping out a side door of the aircraft and sprinting to safety just seconds before a massive fireball erupted from the fuselage. It's the first major incident involving commercial passenger jet since January 29th crash. Since the January 29th crash of an Army Black Hawk helicopter and American Airlines flight at Ronald Reagan. Why did they add that? Why did they add that? So you're saying there wasn't any air crashes anywhere else in the world, but somehow, again, this has nothing to do with anything that the FAA did or anything. Hello, Selected Boy, also.
Yeah, boy.
All right, so there you go. That's trending. Now, because of that also, wait, what's this? No, this is the wrong one. I need this. Okay, Pilot is trending. Delta is trending. Wait, why is this here? Why is that there? Hang on. Okay, so Pilot's trending, and I first interview with a Delta pilot. Okay, and then this meme here. The only proper way for the pilot to tell this story, because I was inverted. Okay. Someone says, holy shit, this could have been much worse. It appears the Delta flight landed upside down. No, it did not land upside down. We know that now. It landed right side up, skidded, and then flipped over. Wait, hang on. Hold on, wait a minute. More footage of how the plane flipped. Oh my God, these poor people. And well done to the pilots and crew for getting them all off safely. I swear, if I'd been on that flight, I'd never get on a plane again. So here is, apparently someone does have some video footage of this happening. It hit hard. Oh, my.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
Whoa. Obviously.
Seeing this airplane just crash into Oh, my God.
All right. I'm sorry. I have to watch it again. Hello, Neptune Red. I mean, this might be what happens when you fire the FAA and everybody else. Hey, Neptune Red, maybe you weren't here when we started talking about this. This has nothing to do with the FAA. The plane landed on a Canadian tarmac that probably had a little bit too much snow on it, and it landed hard and skidded sideways and flipped over. So I'm not sure why you would think this has anything to do with the FAA. Unless you can think of a different reason why. It has nothing to do with Trump. It has nothing to do with the last administration. It has nothing to do with any of that. And it happened in Canada. Okay? So I'm not sure where you're going here. But welcome to the show. I'm glad you're here. We're going to watch this one more time. It has nothing to do with the FAA. I'm sorry. Nice try, though. It's pretty funny that you brought that up. I had a long diatribe about this yesterday. So there you go. So here it is. Yeah, it was definitely a hard landing. That is, I mean, that.
Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck.
You know, it looks like as it landed hard that the right landing gear broke off. That was a very hard landing. So whatever. I don't know what you mean. What? Explain what you're saying there. I always, and as everyone here knows that are here regularly, I always talk to people who aren't here on the regular. What does that mean? What do you mean? What does DEI gone mean? Doesn't mean anything. All right. So there you go. That's it. And then also, and then here's again, so people are trying to say this has something to do with staff layoffs at the FAA, speaking of which. So this is also trending. FAA staff layoffs under Trump post-aviation disasters. The Trump administration has commenced the process of firing hundreds of Federal Aviation Administration employees, which includes air traffic control staff. X to doubt. On the control staff, because they've already talked that they were not going to let go of any air control staff because they don't have enough as it is. In fact, we're 3,000 short at the end of the last administration, and they seem to have turned away. At least we know of 1,300 people who have passed the aptitude test for that particular job, and so they never got hired and or training. But these layoffs have raised concerns regarding air safety, with some suggesting that the reduction in workforce could exacerbate the risk in an already stressed sector. Dismissals are part of a broader governmental inactive targeting probationary employees for ease of termination. So, and I'm pretty sure that the FAA employees they have nothing to do with air traffic control. But now, okay, national, who is this? This is Global News America. I'm trying to find a... Here's the AP story. Senator Tim Kaine posted this. Trump begins firing of FAA staff just weeks after the fatal D.C. plane crash. Well, maybe the people who were involved in that crash should be fired. Or whoever told that person that they could let someone leave for the evening and have someone do two jobs, the jobs of two people. So this is according to the AP. The Trump administration began firing several hundred Federal Aviation Administration employees, upending staff on a busy air travel weekend, just weeks after the January fatal mid-air collision at Ronald Reagan International Airport. Probationary workers were targeted in a late-night emails Friday notifying them they had been fired. David Sparrow, president of the Professional Aviation Safety Specialists Union, said in a statement, so probationary employees, they haven't started working yet. Wait a minute. Well, wasn't everything that happened under Biden Biden's fault, according to the right? Not necessarily, but... But we did play that game for 4 years under Trump, so yeah, people played that game against Biden too. The things that Biden could control, yeah, they were his fault. So there you go. Anyway, the impacted workers include personnel hired for FAA radar landing and navigational aid maintenance. One air traffic controller told the Associated Press the air traffic controller was not authorized to talk about the media and spoke on the condition of anonymity. The message posted on X late Monday, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said fewer than 400 FAA employees were fired and 0 air traffic controllers and critical safety personnel were let go. Well, why did they say up here, including they didn't say that. That's what people posted on X. But as I thought, and I thought I already heard this, so that's why I said it, 0 air traffic controllers and critical safety personnel were let go. Mostly provisional employees. Remember, the FAA employs a hell of a lot of people, and they had 400. I don't know what positions those people were in. So the article's here if you want to read the rest. Perfect. All right, next. And Delta's trending too. Delta Airlines, just because it was a Delta airline plane. And the idiots trying to blame this on DEI again too. I'm not a fan of that. There's people here. This is from the Delta DEI website, an airline obsessed with race and sexual preferences of their workers. I think the passengers who almost died in Toronto give a flying fuck about the pilot. If the pilot blows dudes, or if the flight attendant's great grandmother was a non-binary Native American. So, they'd like to Delta being in the home of Delta prior to. At least I didn't call anyone names. Yeah, I appreciate that. And I encourage people in my chat. Don't if people come in that disagree with us, don't call names. Just tell them what you think, and don't call names. I agree with that. So thank you for not calling names, Neptune. I appreciate it, and you're welcome here anytime. By the way, as if I could stop it, but no, I'd love to have you come back and argue with me all you want. I'm more than happy for that. But we get people like, look, I'm going to give you 2 opposing people on the internet, how they treat this type of thing. Libs of TikTok. Breaking nuclear footage captures the moment Delta plane crashed at Toronto airport. Miraculously, all passengers survived. Okay, fairly factual, less to being what do you call it? Disfactual. Now, normally, she's very partisan. But then let's go to Brian Krasenstein. For those wondering how the Delta plane crash in Toronto took place, here's new video of exactly what happened. So, okay, he's just showing the video. Good for him. They both decided just to do it without any politics in it. And that's the way that probably should be. But as you see, that plane landed hard, and obviously that rear right landing gear gave way because the way it landed, and you could see it where it you could see kind of where it suddenly lurched down. Watch the right landing gear. Bang, and that's where that fell up. Obviously, the other side was there. The front landing gear was there for a minute. So that right rear landing gear gave way on that very, very hard, very, very hard landing. So that was the main thing. So Delta's going to have to probably figure out what happened there. All right, we'll get through these last 2, and then I got to get to what I really wanted to talk about today. Vance and Hassan spar over press freedom and White House access. Vice President J.D. Vance engaged in a public dispute with journalists. Sorry, knowing who we're about to talk about. Mehdi Hassan on social media after Hassan criticizes Vance's stance on free speech. Now, we talked a lot about this yesterday. The conflict arose from the White House decision to limit access to Associated Press journalists due to naming disagreement over the Gulf of America, which I think that's dumb. I don't think that we could force the AP to use it. But, again, being in the White House press corps, I guess, is a privilege, not a right. But Vance dismissed Hassan's comparison of this action to more severe free speech restrictions in Europe by calling him a dummy. Oh, come on now. Okay. I think some of this stuff is just silly. So here's the post that Mehdi Hassan put. Hey, J.D. Vance, I know you're busy lecturing Europeans on free speech, but have you seen this? He was highlighting Mark Caputo's President Trump's decision to limit AP reporters' access is as much a fight over the Gulf of America as it is a protest of what the White House advisors say is years of liberal word choices that AP influential stylebook has spread across the mainstream media. Well, let's see this. There's an article here. Who's this? This is from Axios. Why Trump targets the AP. Okay, this is from Axios. One of the big reasons President Trump is limiting AP reporters' White House access is to protest what aides see as years of liberal word choices that are the wire service's influential style book spread across mainstream media, according to White House officials. And listen, I talk about language bias in articles a lot, and it's true. It's just they always seem to favor one side over there. Good morning, John Arnott, by the way. Why it matters. The trigger that was the announcement by the Associated Press that it would continue using the 400-year-old Gulf of Mexico rather than switch to Gulf of America as declared by Trump on day one executive order. But it turns out that the broader underlying grievances made AP a target. The big picture, by spotlighting AP, Trump is amplifying Republican and conservative criticisms that the AP style book, a first reference for most U.S. news organizations, shape political dialogue by favoring liberal words and phrases concerning gender, immigration, race, and law enforcement. Yes, because they refuse to say things like illegal aliens, which is the legal term for people who cross our border without authorization. This isn't just about Gulf of America, White House Deputy Chief Staff Taylor Budowich told Axios. This is about AP weaponizing language through their style book to push a partisan worldview in contrast with the traditional and deeply held beliefs of many Americans and many people around the world. The dispute with AP is part of Trump's broader effort to discredit legacy media outlets and the public's trust in the press, already at a record low. The other side, the AP, which has long been considered the gold standard of neutrality, not in the last 10 years. Maybe they at one time were the gold standard of neutrality, but as you start paying attention to how they use the language, it's obvious that they're not. But this says the AP rejects any accusation of bias. Lauren Aniston, Vice President of Corporate Communications, told Axios that AP is global, fact-based, nonpartisan news organization with thousands of customers around the world who span the political spectrum. But they do have a left-wing bias. It's about language. If AP journalism wasn't factual and nonpartisan, this wouldn't be the case, she said. Well, unless a majority of the media that uses the AP is partisan. So if your major newspapers are using the AP and they have a partisan bias, they're going to see it as the norm for them. But the readers are going to notice the bias unless they're entrenched within that bias. So yes, AP, if it wasn't factual and nonpartisan, this wouldn't be the case. No, that's false. That's completely false. Easton said AP provides guidance on issues brought to us by members and customers, and it's up to them what they choose to use. Well, look, if your major newspapers are the New York Times, the Los Angeles Times, the Chicago Tribune, the Detroit Free Press, the Charlotte Observer, the Washington Post, Washington Times, Washington Examiner, whatever, they all have liberal biases, and so they're going to agree with the way you frame things all the time. But if you look at the Chicago Sun-Times or, the Washington Examiner, they're going to notice your bias. So it's funny that they try to do this. It's so funny the way she puts this. Again, this is guidance. It's not surprising that political parties, organizations, or even individuals may disagree with some entries. The style book doesn't align with any particular agenda. Well, in some cases, they do. It's like, I live in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I don't know a single person who voted for Trump. I can't believe they say we're biased. You're in that circle. You're not. Holy shit. It's amazing. State of play after barring AP reporters from covering several events with Trump last week. The White House said Friday that's because the wire service continues to ignore the lawful geographic name change of the Gulf of America. AP slots in the Oval Office at Air Force One will now be opened up to other reporters. An AP reporter and photographer were blocked Friday from boarding Air Force One for Trump's weekend trip to Florida. The White House said AP journalists will retain their credentials to the White House complex. And then there's a backstory. There's more here that they get into, but if you want to read that, you can read that on your own. All right. P-Dog, you missed a donation. Oh, did I? Oh, thank you, Avocados Diablo. Another small bullet in the tip jar. Who says, says, given how that plane landed, I'm assuming it was a woman pilot from Australia. Or it could have been, is it Denzel Washington that did that? He flew the plane upside down because something in that movie. Yeah, okay, it could have been a woman from Australia. It might have been Denzel Washington, though. But not a DEI hire, because I'm sure it's just a plain old white guy. All right, let's get to the main topic today. The Worcester City Council. Now, last week, there was a city council meeting in, I believe, I'm going to say Worcester, Massachusetts, I'm guessing. I don't know. But they were apparently voting on Worcester, Massachusetts. They were voting on making Worcester a sanctuary city for transgender and gender diverse people. Okay? And so video clips of this city council meeting were popping up all over the place. So we're gonna go through a few. And but I have questions about this whole idea of making a city, Worcester, Massachusetts. Worcester? Is it Worcester? I don't know how to pronounce shit. It's Worcester, but it's Worcester, Massachusetts, okay? Worcester. Well, that, like the sauce, you mean Worcestershire sauce? So anyway, here's one of the videos that was prominent. We'll go through this. Now this is 5 minutes long, but I'm not going to go through the whole thing. No, nobody wants to see LGBTQ people unalived. No, nobody, not at all. I want LGBTQ people to live happy lives and just be you. I don't care. But there are certain things that shouldn't happen to children, for example. And there's all kinds of things. Nobody wants that. I don't know. Why would you even say something like that? You've censored. When have you been censored? I'm looking through here. None of your posts have even been deleted. You have not been censored. I see what you're saying by YouTube. No, nobody wants that. Let's make that clear right now. So anyway, here's one of these videos, and this is kind of how the city council meeting went.
I need the city to protect me because the federal government won't.
Protect you from what?
You're afraid of Trump? You should see how afraid of Trump I am.
Can you wrap up, please?
Yes, I can.
By the way, when I saw this video, and I watched it mostly through it, I could have sworn this is one of those Alex Stein videos where he goes into a city council and pretends to be something. I was not really sure if this was serious. Oh, YouTube. Oh, yes, YouTube does that. YouTube does that. Hi, Chicago Mike. What's up? Yeah, YouTube does that. There's certain words you're not allowed to use on apparently on YouTube. I don't know how they choose it because it's different on different channels. But anyway, so I thought this was a bit, but it's not. This is real.
If you say that you're afraid of Trump and that's why you don't want the city to be a safe space for trans people,
what? And I need them to define that. What is a sanctuary city for trans people? That's the big question I have.
Better prepare for trans people to make this a very unsafe space.
That sounded like a threat. That sounded like a threat to the city council. Hello, GDSOB. That sounded like a threat to the city council. If you do not vote for this, trans people are going to make this a very unsafe space. That sounds like a threat. Next.
I'm shaking right now.
Okay. This is straight out of an Alex Stein bit. I'm shaking right now.
I don't want to be here.
Up, please.
I'm sorry. Am I taking too long pleading for my life?
Okay. Where has your life been threatened? That's just it. Again, they take it to the 11th floor when really probably on the second, maybe or the first.
You remembered how many children I have and that 2 of them are trans.
Probability 1 in 700 million that you would have 2 trans children. 0.18% of the population is trans. So the idea that you would have 1 trans child is minuscule. The probability of you having 1 trans child is minuscule. And you have 2? That sounds like some suggestive selling to your children, excuse me.
I speak as both the B and the T in the LGBT.
Bi and trans. Okay. So, well, I guess I can't say straight. Never mind. And no, that's something to cheer about.
I'm multiply disabled. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder that causes me immense
So not
physical
only
pain.
am I trans, but I have a disability. Is this just a bunch of people going up and trying to bully the city council?
I'm on the autism spectrum, and I have narcolepsy, and I couldn't drive myself.
And narcolepsy. I'm surprised you didn't fall asleep while you're standing there. I don't mean I don't want to make fun of these people, but it's just again, I don't know what they're doing.
Here, so I had to hide from my driver that I was in drag, which is not an easy thing to do
You're in drag of what? Do you think that when this person stepped into the Uber, someone said that the driver said, "Oh, that's normal"? Probably not.
I do not want to be here. It's my day off.
Then why are you there? We're going to get to this one in a minute.
I do not want to be in your DMs. I do not want to be in your email inboxes. I do not want my creativity writing diss tracks like Kendrick. I don't want to spend an hour.
Bitch, you ain't Kendrick. I guarantee it.
Applying glitter on my face so that you will hear and see me. I want you to listen to me.
Let us remember that the...
Okay, so you get the idea. This whole video is in the links, but I want to go to that person that we just saw. This is the one that AD sent me yesterday. We're going to give them the whole 2 minutes. Thank you, Avocados Diabli. Another small bowl in a tip jar. These clips are from 2 different council meetings. The one I sent you is from a second one where she went back again. You can tell because her makeup is not exactly the same. Yes, this is the second time. So there was more than one hearing on this idea.
Hello, council. Remember me from last week?
Now, and as AD pointed out earlier in the prior super chat, there's a strategic middle finger she's holding up her sign with. Okay, so let's listen to this speech.
Oh, you don't remember me from last week? Could it be because gender is a construct? I'm Anna. Been a Worcester resident for 24 years. Tonight, I'm coming to you as Laddie LaRouge, otherwise known as Lady LaRouge. Tonight, I'm Laddie. When I'm in drag, I use he, they pronouns.
Well, no, you're in drag, so you're in a performance, even though you're a woman. So no one cares about your pronouns. If you're testifying at a city council meeting, your pronouns don't change. You don't get to tell us what your pronouns are. Just because you're in drag doesn't mean I have to change the pronouns I use for you because you are a woman. Drag is just a performance. A male drag performer, and I don't mind drag shows for adults. I don't care if people want to go to a drag show. But a male drag performer performing dressed as woman is still a he because it's just a performance. It's like if someone is on stage and they're doing the Little Mermaid on stage and someone's playing the crab, we don't try to drop it in a hot pot of water because he's still a human being playing a crab and it's still a human, even though they're playing a crab on stage. Holy shit.
Nouns. And I am a proud and loud queer artist in the city.
Okay.
I am a
Nobody
local
cares.
burlesque and drag performer, producer, educator, and historian. And I'd like to ask the council and Mayor Petty why you've ghosted us, left us on red, have not responded to our emails asking for a formal apology, both to Councillor Nguyen and the whole queer community.
Why? For what point? What did they do? And why do you think they owe you anything? Just because you send them letters and emails about something, I'm sure it's not hard to listen and respect. I get it. It's brain work. No, I if they say something that makes sense, I'll respect it.
Because by not doing so, you're sending a message not only to your constituents, but to the queer community as a whole and every visitor that comes to the city that I used to be proud to call home. Not so much this past few weeks.
What's interesting, too, is they passed this resolution to make Worcester a transgender something sanctuary city. But I still want to know what that means.
Worcester is home to world-renowned stages, the Hanover Theater, Tuckerman Hall, Mechanics Hall, who host touring artists from around the world. I know if I were a trans or non-binary actor on a Broadway tour who's coming to this city this year, I would not feel safe coming to Worcester.
Why? Give a good reason why. If you're a person who travels and goes to stages all around the country, why would you not feel safe in Worcester? A liberal city in the northeast of the United States of America. Why would you not feel? I could see if you were going to, I don't know, a suburb of Tulsa, Oklahoma, where you might go, oh, these people might not like this shit. You're in Worcester, Massachusetts, the most liberal state in the country, arguably. What would make you feel unsafe in Worcester, Massachusetts? Or are you just being a little overly dramatic?
With the rhetoric that's been allowed to fly in these chambers, I wouldn't feel safe.
People
we
who
need
have
a
questions.
public apology now. Get on it. Speaking of getting on it, I'd like to speak in support of item 8I that you, council, request that you, city manager Batista, commit and act on creating an LGBTI coalition and task force to address issues of queerphobia, specifically transphobia, as you like to say, Joe Petty, and any other biphobias, xenophobias, and other bigotry that have been displayed by members of this cabinet. My ask is that this task force addresses the discrimination and issues in this council first and then expands to the greater Worcester community. Speaking of, I'd also like to support item 8J, asking for $500,000 in funding to go to a queer community, to the queer community via a Queer and Trans Alliance Fund dedicated to addressing the needs of the LGBT.
Why would you need public money? You don't think you could raise money for doing that? I'm tired of, and this is everybody asking for public money. Why would you require public money to do that? Is this your form of reparations? I don't know what you think this is. I'm not sure.
LGBTQIA community. Here's a tip. Open your ears. Here's a tip. Open your ears and listen. Stop talking over me, Joe. And apply the notes that we're giving you. Once again, I'll thank you when you make a formal apology.
All right, so she's demanding apology. Apparently, someone on the council had questions they did not like. I'm going to skip. Also, apparently, a Trump and leftist protest in Worcester City Council meeting, Julie Payne Britton, a pastoral assistant at Hayden Park Congregational Church, used her interpretation of her religion to pressure the council to support radical gender ideology. The council approved the demands. She invoked Jesus and said she would be at a protest as a drag queen, a trans man, and or a non-binary person. So here, now this is Just the News, obviously a more right side of the aisle news outlet, but this was the only decent article I could find about it. Oh, wait, here's another one. Here we go. Let's do this. I'll put the NBC article here. Let's do the NBC Boston article first, and then we'll do the Just the News article. Move that over. So, Worcester leaders vote to become a sanctuary city for trans community. Now, hopefully, some point in this article, I'll get an idea of what that means. There's a new safe haven for those who identify as transgender in the Bay State after Worcester officially became a sanctuary city for that community during a lengthy city council meeting on Tuesday night. This meeting lasted for about 5 hours, and there were about 200 people who showed up to voice their support. Did anyone oppose this? I'm curious. It was standing room only inside the council chambers, as dozens of residents spoke before the city council in favor of making Worcester a sanctuary city for those who identify as transgender and other diverse genders. What does it mean? That's what what are they asking for? That's the question I'm asking. What does that mean? The campaign comes on the heels of the first openly non-binary member of the elected to the city council. So if you're non-binary, you're either binary or you're non-binary, so you're still binary some way. This campaign comes blah blah blah. To Nguyen taking a hiatus from this council after they say, okay, they're using those pronouns. They say that person saying the environment was transphobic. Maybe because you calling yourself non-binary doesn't always fit with what other people see. And so I'm pretty sure, I'm sure there was some misgendering talk within there. Local organization, Queer Residents of Worcester, and our allies filed the petition asking the councilors to make Worcester a sanctuary city for transgender and gender diverse people. The petition specifically asked for the city not to cooperate with federal and state policies aimed at harming transgender and gender diverse people, and to ensure that the LGBT community here has access to healthcare, housing, education, employment without fear of discrimination. Hey, fine. If people want to hire you and whatever, that's fine. Good on you. That's just, equal opportunity. Now, does that mean that you can do whatever you want if you work for me? Can you insult my customers if you work for me? That may not work out well for you. Just saying. You have an incredible opportunity as a community to support our children. It's weird that children get brought up automatically, and I think that has to come with the idea that most people say that, and a vast majority of people agree with it, and regardless of what some people think, that children maybe shouldn't be medicalized for gender ideology issues. And I mean not just like surgery, I mean like any kind of medicalization, because a child cannot make a decision to become a permanent medical patient when they're still a child. Because we also know that most children who go through, like, say, gender dysphoria, it's cured by puberty in 90% of the cases. And that's not our study. That's studies over 20 years in Sweden, Finland, other countries, where we haven't done, we kind of don't allow that research here, at least not for it to be published. You have an incredible opportunity as a community to support our children. You have an opportunity to decrease the rates of depression and suicide by showing our children that their safety and dignity are a priority. Well, we know also from research in other countries that doesn't change regardless of what you do. It's often, there's at least 5 comorbidities with people who have gender issues as a child, with a large number of people on the autism scale. It is your responsibility to stand up and fight for our people, for your people, for the people. Another added, the city council approved it by a vote of 9-2. So I'm sure those 2 people who didn't vote for it are probably being protested. Now, let's look at how a right-wing source writes this and see if there's differences in the language. The city of Worcester, located in Massachusetts, voted to officially become a sanctuary city for the transgender community. Multiple residents of that county spoke at a city council meeting last week where they voiced support for Worcester to become a sanctuary city. The city council approved the resolution on a Tuesday in a 9-2 vote. This movement for transgender sanctuary city started after the first non-binary individual was elected to the city council and said the environment was transphobic, according to NBC News. Local group. Okay, so this is basically the same article, and that's it. That's all they wrote. They wrote basically a summary of that article. But I still don't know what that means. In the NBC article, it says, what is it? The petition specifically asked the city not to cooperate with federal and state policies aimed at harming transgender and gender diverse people. What federal and state policies are aimed at harming transgender and gender diverse people? That's what I don't understand. Can they name one? Can anybody name one? Can anybody name one? That's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. They can't name one. Other than, because look, adults who are gender diverse, whatever you call it, whatever, nobody cares what they do. They do whatever you want to do. I don't need to, I don't need to be a part of it. I don't have to go along with it, but I don't have to. I can choose or choose not to associate with you. And, in the case of the people I know that are that I get along with just fine, even though they know that I don't necessarily agree with what they do, I'm fine with them. But what I don't understand is, what is it that, again, the line is federal and state policies aimed at harming transgender and gender diverse people. Give me an example. I don't know. Oh, unless you're talking about bathrooms. Oh, is that what you're talking about? Well, guess what? There's a balance, especially in sports. There's a balance. So you say that, so they make a policy about sports, right? Does having the opposite policy harm people too? So what's the balance? I don't think males should participate in sports that are designated for females. And I'm talking physiology, not gender. If gender is just a social construct, then we have to base it on physiology. And physiology is based on your sex, not your gender. And that's how sports are divided, because from a physiology standpoint, there is always an advantage, not always, but in general, in the every level of competition, male human bodies have an advantage over female human bodies after about the age of 12 or 13 years old. So, in that case, well, there is since we can't divide on gender because gender is just a social construct, gender is just how you feel, gender is just this, then we have to base it on reality, which is physiology of the sexes, the physiology of the difference between the sexes, not genders. So that is the fairest way to portion out sports competition. If the males who want to compete in sports want to compete against other males, no problem. They're not restricting you from competing in sports, but you have to compete in sports with people who have the same physiology as you. Not gender. Gender is a social construct. Gender is a feeling. Gender is how you think about yourself. Sex is what causes your physiology. Regardless if you take hormones, because you can never change your sex. No matter what you do, you cannot change your sex. Even people who say they had a sex change operation, if you stop taking the hormones, you're still the sex you're born. It's just sports, but some people care about sports. And so what if it's just sports? All right, I'm out of time. I would love to talk about this more. And there's a whole bunch of other articles and links today that I said I wasn't going to get to them, because there's just too much. There's just too much. So all kinds of articles and the links. I'll drop those. Let me drop those links in the chat here, though, so I don't forget that. One tab link. If you click the link, it will take you to just a page with everything we did in pretty much the order we did it. There we go. Share his webpage. All right. So here's today's links. And there you go. That's it, guys. I'll be back tomorrow. Sorry about the abrupt ending, but, you know, sometimes I just go over and things go the way they are. So thank you for joining me on the Morning Night Live. I'm here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. And that's it. My name is Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is Dawg Knight, and thank you for watching today on the Dawg Knight Channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm Dawg Knight, and I'm out of here.